Hey guys, Robert Strongthumb here, and I found something out. Of the players that watch this channel, the ones that have the most views, the most everything, are the videos where I teach players, you guys, you viewers, you awesome viewers, how to play this game in the most basic format, because I must just be going over something that's a little bit, more advanced, and you want the basic things that was not taught to you in the tutorial. Blizzard, your tutorial's cool and all, but I'd recommend upping it up a little bit. Now, this is quick match. The teams you see here, both teams have a warrior and a healer. That's not often the case. Most of the time it'll just all be assassins and specialists, and you'll have to be a little bit used to that. But for now, let's play Raynor. I'd recommend playing Sylvanas and Raynor first, and Lily and Malfurion as well. They are very easy characters to get you adapted to how this game works. So, in Team Deathmatch, well no, this is not a Team Deathmatch at all. At level 1, I will be going for Seasoned Marksman. Alright, so first things first. This map, you usually want to have most people go middle, because the objective on this map spawns enemies in both the jungles. And you want to see which one the enemy team is going into, and be able to not to be in that one. So that way you're not faced with a situation where you are outnumbered. So that way, if you're all in the middle, you can all migrate to whichever one you feel is safest. However, our team's not doing that, so I'll go middle. Also, you do not want to have a support laning on their own. Most supports in the game are not very good laners, and they are actually pretty powerful laners, though, when they have a teammate. Looks like the enemy team's doing the strategy I have, and I'm going to use my push ability to push people back with Raynor. Yes, I have a great range. I am a backline shooter. I do not have to get close to the enemies to hurt them. I just have to stay back. In fact, I have a generous range for my trait. Tyrael, however, still has forgotten that we are outnumbered. We are looking constantly at the minimap to see where the enemies go. And we see all of the enemies on the minimap, so I'm actually really safe. By the way, with Raynor, you want to hold down your W. If I'm not doing that, I'm not playing Raynor right. Alright. And we are staying in the lane until level 10. At level... Oh, I can help out my friend by dealing a little bit of damage there. Potentially actually helping that guy escape because he is... yeah, I helped him escape. Do not use the Q ability to push your enemies further away from you when they would die. Where was I? Yes, you want to lane all 3 lanes until level 10, unless if there's an objective like this, in which case you go to the objective. You want to take the tiny objectives first, and I went to the top lane because we saw that 2 enemies were here, 2 enemies were here, 1 was respawning, so they are likely to go to the bottom, and I am not very good on my own. However, these 2 can survive just fine as long as they don't just get ambushed by everybody like that, unfortunately. They stayed there a little bit too long, or the enemy had vision of them, or something. But either way, we went to the safe jungle. I took way too much damage from those guys, but it's alright. I don't have to get close to the enemies to deal damage to them. However, that's scary. I'm very glad yeah, we do want to leave. The enemies are probably taking their camp. I'm going to drink from the fountain, not go all the way back, because the fountain restores usually half of your health. And keep in mind, I still have my healing cooldown. We see Sonya in the top lane, but as long as she stands there, she's not a threat. She's just laning. We're equal levels. There's nothing wrong. I am saving my Q ability for when I really have to use it. Either in a rush of damage against that golem, because we need it, or if I need to push enemies back, because it's not a precious cooldown, but it's 12 seconds. I'm going to have to decide about my own thing. I want to get focused attack, which increases my damage, because I do not need healing for myself. So, which player should get the terror? Most likely your tank. Tyrael is not a tank, however, he is a bruiser warrior. So any player could have gotten it, except for Zagara. You usually want pushing characters, or characters that are very good at lane, to not get the objective, the plant, because they are very good at helping the plant do that. So actually, our Rhaegar wants us to keep soaking and all, but But I'm going to stay here because the plant is likely going to move away because most of the enemy team is right there. With the plant, by the way, you want to always have it pushing. Lots of times you see even advanced players using it to do things other than pushing. I guarantee you, the best thing you can do with your terror is destroy structures, not kill players. Sometimes you can use it to make a finishing blow. Awesome. Alright, and see? Yeah, I'm stayed here, and the terror moved, and the enemy team is not soaking as well as we are. We have Zagara on the bottom, who is uninterrupted, and Zagara is a very good pusher. This is awesome. I forget to use my W ability a lot of the time. We see the entire enemy team, so we are not even afraid to walk up to this tower. And in fact, this is not even a team deathmatch either. The enemy team has 1, 2 potentially damaged characters. The way we can tell usually is if they do not have this symbol next to them, they are probably a damage dealing character. Now we're going to get Revolution Overdrive. Speaking of which, W ability. Alright, we see the enemy team is coming down to gank us. I was a little bit too late actually, and so was that Azmodan. I was trying to knock her off her mount, but no, it looks like our Azmodan failed to recognize that the enemy team was coming in a group of 5. And let's not forget, there's still a group of 5. Where are they heading right now? Most likely down to this Zagara. We can ping her to let her know that attacking that wall is not what she wants to be doing right now. I'm going to go back to the top lane because we're not soaking all of the lanes, and we want to be doing that because right now we do not have level 10, and it's not an important objective. You can use the W ability again. And we're spending more attention on the minimap, like this. Bottom lane's not being soaked, that's alright. It will be in a second by our Azmodan friend. I don't see all of the enemies, so I gotta be a little bit careful. We even have Zagara vision. But considering there's nobody laning here for the enemies, actually, they're probably taking that camp, if I had to guess, because they recently took this camp, and right above it is the other camp. When the enemy team is missing from the minimap like this, it likely means, yes, they are taking mercenary camps. And you can often find out which ones they were taking by where they were seen last. And that means I have a lot of time before they're even going to slightly come in my direction, which means I can totally push with these minions. However, they're going to be making their way over here really quick, so I'm going to get that experience for destroying the structure and go away. Like that. Easy. And also, she's fighting in the creep wave. Okay, well, the enemy team is right here, so I actually did not want to use that Q ability of mine. I wanted to save it for pushing an enemy hero away because I'm about to get ganked, most likely. But we're going to take this tiny camp and then go away. The tiny camps are more important than the giant golem. Each of the tiny camps on this map grants 15 seeds, and the giant one gives 60, but over a large period of time. That is exactly right, that is a dangerous area. So I'm going to go back up here. That was just one Sonya. We almost have our level 10. Level 10 is a huge advantage. And I'm going to get zoning power. Level 10 is a huge advantage right now. We have our ultimates, and the enemy team does not. That level difference is so huge that we can engage on the enemy team with no fear. We can even be outnumbered. However, the enemy Sonya is in our backline, which is not good. But that's not a problem. We want to focus the damage-dealing characters with our damage, and which is exactly what we want to do. Sonya is a particularly high damage-dealing character, but not fully devoted in that direction. We even have the health to do this. So we just want to stay here and find out that, hey, look, their terror is attacking the forts. Okay. What else do I want to note? Oh, yes, this in the bottom. This is how many seeds the enemy team has. This is how many seeds our team has. If this pedal is open, that means that during this night, the enemy team can get a terror if they pick up all the seeds on the ground or in the jungle. And if it's closed, that means that even if they picked up all of the seeds from on the entire map in the night, they would not be able to get a terror. So even if they collect that last golem right there, they're not going to get it, but we could, which means we probably should. Oh, I totally walked into that thing. Usually you want to avoid red circles. Sometimes you have everything and psh, I can take it. Usually you can't. And there's sometimes even when there isn't a red circle, when there really should be, like Kael'thas's Living Bomb. I'm not using my Q ability here because that would push the enemy further away from our damage. And now we're going to join our team because it's level 10. We do not need to soak anymore. We don't. So, I'm going to suggest that this Zagara and this Rhaegar and I, who are not doing the right thing, by the way, they are laning. You gotta be kidding me, right? Alright. Never mind. They're gonna attack me. I'm gonna let those minions, or those mercenaries, get their damage refocused onto Zagara's minions. That way I'm not taking tons of damage, because I am indeed a squishy hero. I'm going to apply all my damage there, and I did not want to use that E ability cooldown. But, we are already level 10. Another thing that's really important, I can't believe I didn't touch on it yet, do not use negativity. That is a really out of position Sonya, so we're going to push her further in, and I just realized I'm out of position too. I was a squishy hero who was in the front line. That is why I died right there. The enemy team was right here, and so was I. I was a squishy hero. That's not what you do with Raynor. That was shameful. But you do not use negativity in your communications with other players. It is the absolute worst play in the entire game. If you can use positivity, by all means do it. If you have something nice to say it. It's really, really helpful. You have no idea. Unfortunately, we did a terrible trade. That was completely my fault. That's alright. It looks like our mercenaries might... No, they're not going to bring that down. But they drained the ammunition, and the enemy team is likely moving over there to deal with it right now, especially considering their 2 supports were over there. You know what we can do while their Tyrion's on his own? Probably almost died. Alright, so I'm going to ask that somebody help me get this mercenary camp. Or not. Or we should just group up near the tank. You usually want to... not even the tank, the bruiser. You want to follow your team's warriors. Because they likely have the... They likely have the highest hit bar to be able to charge in bravely with. This level, I'm going to go for double barrel. If we want to, we could push this down, I suppose. And we're going to focus this Sonya because she is pretty out of position. Actually, we're going to try and push her back. I'm going to try and push them back with my zoning tool that I haven't used in forever. And this Raynor is chasing me because Arterial is not with us, and that's probably why he died. It's not like it was his fault necessarily. It's just that... am I going to get hooked? No, I'm not. It's just that he was away from the team because of the enemy's crowd control. However, we can still deal quite a lot of damage from the outside here like this. Although, if I had... Yeah, Stitches is going to do that. So I'm going to see if I can't help by pushing the enemies back. No, I can't. Even with 2 charges. That's alright, that's alright. Now, we don't want to engage anymore because, look, the enemy team has 5 players right here, and we have 3 players right here. That Azmodan probably just got himself killed. Until we have the Scar, we have no advantage whatsoever over the team. We're missing a player, we're equal levels, the enemy team is clumped up. So I'm going to go solo to this area because it looks like the entire enemy team... He knows he can take that solo, right? Yes, players can take this solo. And I'm going to clear this as soon as possible. It looks like the enemy team is still over in our neck of the woods. But otherwise, we're pretty good. Alright, I can't take damage from this guy for so long, but we have a healer with us, so this is going to be good. Alright, now we have a terror, that's good, but the enemy team is likely going to get one as well. So do we defend or attack? Well, we have much more gates to their keeps than they do. When you kill a keep, by the way, which is the last 3 defenses from your core, when you lose a keep, the enemy team gets catapults pushing that lane forever, which makes it increasingly more difficult to just let the minions do their thing. Catapults really do make a difference. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we should push. So, yeah, let's follow this terror. I can do a lot of sustained damage versus lots of things. Actually, alright, tell you what. They are using their terror in the incorrect way. Can you guess what it is? They're not using it to siege. That's what the way it is. So actually, we're about to get... Okay, I have to leave now. I wish we got that fort, but whatever. Looks like our terror is going away. Aw, and Zagara. We went different paths, unfortunately. And the Stitches had got her. Now they're using it to siege, but a little bit too late. Look how much health we've already torn off of its limbs. Now we just sit here, push it further into the base, so that way the person who gets kicked out of it is even further blocked. I'm a bit risky in my plays, admittedly. That was a pretty nice divine shield. You know he's leading you into their team, right? We should be using our terror. Oh, and I'm out of position. Beautiful. He is gonna hook me. He is gonna hook me, isn't he? No, he isn't. Alright, we should be behind our front line, which is Tyrael and potentially Rhaegar, but not really anymore. Not after the nerf. Alright, they're cutting through us. I'm gonna push them back this way, because they do not want to stand inside that red circle. For me, it's blue. For them, it's red. I'm walking towards a Raynor with a very dangerous thing on him, and that's why I'm gonna die. No, it's not. It's because I got stitches hooked after I got healed. But our Tyrael is so faithful. He's coming to help me. I have another push. There we go. Can I mount up? Yes. No. Alright. I made some mistakes over here, but in all, that was just a good stitches hook. Now we're going to get Bullseye for the stun. So I hope you're getting the message that after level 10, you don't lane. Actually, he's okay. They are. They are all right there. Unless if they move down diagonally, in which case he's in danger. And you tell your team that, and they can see it with the creep. Even. Alright, and pay attention to the minimap, and stay behind your front line. Unless if you are a front line. Alright, and you know what they're doing right now? They're getting this. Zagara, we can do this. The enemy team, 3 of them are right here. Zagara did not listen to my ping. That's alright, that happens sometimes, but I feel like we could have interrupted this, and that would have been really cool. I can't move in there alone, not without some help. In fact, we should just engage on this, really, if they have none of their friends with them. Or maybe I was wrong. I was wrong. They would have taken that camp by now. So, what are we going to do? I'm going to follow the front line, wherever he may be. He's in back of us. Perfect. Danger. Have I died? Yes, I have. Of course I have. Now, what are we doing right here? Nothing. This team of ours is doing nothing. Unfortunately, I have to follow Tyrael basically to the dollar, but team fighting right now would not do very much. Okay, our team's right here, so hey, I'm gonna try and help this buddy out. I can't use my Q, but I can do pretty cool things. Aw, so close. She took a lot of damage anyways. I might be able to finish her off if she's not careful. Is she gonna turn around and kill me? No, I won't kill her. Actually, she wasted a lot of my time, so good on her. What we want to be doing right now is taking these very small camps. I'm going to keep one of these ready just in case that happens. I'm going to get a lot of these, and is their enemy team around? No, they're taking the terror, the golem. I just got my heal off, and now we're going to kill the Stitches, perhaps. Perhaps, he's a pretty tanky guy. And I'm taking hits from the golem. That's not good. We just got our terror, which is awesome. We're not helping taking the Stitches down, but oh well. Alright, we got our person. Now we want to finish taking this and that. So, going to take all of these, even though we will not be getting another terror. They even took their own golem, so we should be expecting... No. Siege with it. Yes, he's doing the right thing. Sieging with the Garden Terror. That is awesome. And notice, by the way, my positioning. I am positioning away from the left side of the map, the enemy side of the map, behind my tank. And I'm in a position where even if they come over here, I can get behind my tank. Just that much. Alright. Now, are they team fighting with the Terror? It looks like they are. The enemy team is not doing the right thing with the Terror, which is good for us. We're just going to follow this Terror around and take it down because it has more health than ours, so it's likely going to get more value if we just let it roam. So we're not going to let it roam. I am in a pretty bad position, honestly, but we can see where the enemy team is because of the creep and such. They are following the enemy's terror. In fact, no, I'm going to save my Qs for when this man comes out of the terror, because then I'm going to be able to push him in the direction I want to push him in. But he's going to put a polymorph there. I can't do anything about that. Alright, just a few more hits on this guy. And he should be gone. Yep. Oh, I can't shoot him without pushing him in the wrong direction. Wow. That was nice. Seriously. Alright, let's get this. No, I wanted to get him into the hole, but I was going to miss anyways. I'm out of position. We still have our terror, but it's a few seconds left only. Alright, you know what we want to do now? We don't really want a team fight, but now I guess we have to, because for the sake of our... Man. Oh, alright. Let's focus... Wait, what? I heard her ultimate go off, but that's alright. We're trying to focus either the damage dealing characters or the healers, the squishy targets, so everybody except for Stitches, basically. If we can help it. But if Stitches is the only one who can be attacked, then by all means attack... Body block him. Yes! Our team did the right thing. I'll be making a video on body blocking and how to play tanks in a little bit too, but this is how you play the backline players. You're staying behind the tank. Right now we're able to make an amazing push because we have such a high player advantage versus the enemy team. I'm going to use this ultimate to make sure we are going to get this. And in fact, kill... Hold up. Nah. I guess that was not a useful ultimate. But now we're going to get our level 20s, and because we have our level 20s and they have so many players down, we are going to continue to attack. I'm going to stun her once, stun her twice, get her killed. Okay, now this is important. The core, when it attacks, it does splash damage, so you need to spread out. Otherwise, it's going to hit all of you and deal some seriously heavy damage. And we're going to take the core just like that. Whenever you can kill the core, do it. That is how you win the game. This game has a lot of comeback mechanics, allowing the enemy team to come back if you do not kill their core. Very good game. Only problem is I just had to feel the reins with Raynor there. But yes, that is how you play this game as a backline character. That'll be all for today, guys. So remember to like this video if you liked it. Leave some comments down below for conversation, because that's cool. Like, no, I already said that. Subscribe for more, and share this video with your friends if you think they'd like it as well. That'll be all for today. See you guys.